Well, this I've been preaching for a while, Exodus 1:14. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them to serve was with rigor. And that's the Egyptians, and actually I believe it's the Egyptian gods inside of the Hebrew children, making them to serve what for? Okay, the whole principle of the book of Exodus, as I have taught it, I've been teaching it for a while, is that the Egyptian gods were making the Hebrew children engage in religious works and the worship of other gods, which were designed to produce Horus, the spiritual child, in the midst of them, so that Osiris and Isis could descend into the people and live through them. That's what this is all about in a parable form. They were in bondage, in mortar and in brick. They were building, and the word brick, the Lord revealed to us quite a while ago. I don't know whether you remember it or not, but I remember it, that the word brick, it's talking about the foundation of the altar or the temple. It's all talking, it's spiritual. The word brick is spiritual, and I got that revelation when I saw an image of the Sphinx, that the whole foundation of the Sphinx was brick. And the Sphinx represents the spiritual person, which is typified by a lion, and the head is the head of a man. It's the spiritual man. See? It's the foundation, the spiritual foundation made of brick that will sustain the spiritual lion, the strength of the lion, that it won't destroy the house, and the head of the man. It's a spiritual man. So that's the bondage that the Hebrew children were in Egypt. They were worshiping the Egyptian gods that were making them, who knows, maybe they were doing human sacrifice, whatever they were making them do, the end game. The end game was to produce a foundation that would allow the Osiris and Isis to descend into them and join with them and have their child there and dwell there. That was the end game. And that's what brick is talking about, the word brick, okay? If you make that foundation, and of course we have the nursery rhyme. What is it, the Three Little Pigs? Or who's building the houses? Is it the Three Little Pigs? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's what that nursery rhyme is about. If you build your house of straw, I'm going to huff and puff and blow it down. Okay. But when they built their house on the brick, okay, the wolf couldn't blow it down. So when we try to build a house, when we try to make ourselves a home for the Spirit of God, if we try to do it without Jesus, if we try to do it in our own strength, it's a house of straw or whatever the three options are. The only foundation which will erect a device, I'll say a device for now, that the Lord Jesus Christ can connect to permanently and unify with heaven and earth within us. The only foundation that will sustain that unification is Christ in you, the hope of your glorification. Any other foundation, any other means by which you hope to draw down the Spirit of God into your vessel, to give you spiritual strength, prosperity, even if you're not thinking in terms of immortality, prosperity, overcoming power over disease and poverty and whatever else is afflicting your life. The only foundation that will sustain the unification, the spiritual unification that you need, which can meet these needs, is Christ in you, the hope of glory. No other God will do it. But what I just said to you is described in the short phrase, making brick. That's what it's talking about. Genesis 11:3. And they said one to another, "Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly or throughly." And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And this is talking about the beginning of the Tower of Babel.